I am DYANAROZAY, and I bring a unique commentary to your favorite reality TV shows and whatever is popping on social media. If you are not a subscriber, please become one. Hit that notification bell too, that way you don't miss any of my videos. I go by DYANAROZAY on all platforms, and I appreciate every single one of y'all for rocking with me. What's up, Supreme Team? Welcome to the channel. Oh my God, okay? There has been so much shit that has dropped today. It is crazy, but I need everybody to come in, okay? I did watch the show. I have to do a double take. I know that everyone is talking about the video that dropped on Arion's channel, which I have not seen yet. I'm going to have to do a completely separate video for that one. But the show was excellent. Okay, the show was really, really good. What's up, Greensville? The show was fantastic. I'm hoping that you guys got an opportunity to see it. Come on in. Happy holidays. I hope you guys had an opportunity to see it. I do want to hear your opinions, because this is what we do on Saturday nights after the show. We talk about what is going on. Hold on one second for me, okay? I got to make a quick errand. Okay, sorry about that. So yeah, we talk about what happened on the show, and then I will talk about, I'll do an official review tomorrow, and we will talk about Martell's tea. From what it sounds like, there's a lot of people who are saying it's not tea, okay? But if y'all had an opportunity to watch the show, if you watched the show, you would have heard what? Put it in the comments right now. What shocking detail is going to come out next week, okay? Did anybody watch it? Anybody watch the show? Don't waste your time watching this video. Nothing but gutter trash. Still no receipts. Okay. So that's not a problem. We'll still talk about it though. What shocking detail was revealed? Oh, goodness. Clone got it. Martell says that he is still in love with Melody. I am surprised that nobody is talking about this. What's up, Pisces Life? Martell said, I get mad when y'all be saying you still in love with Melody. I'll be like, fuck that shit. And then he said, but really, I am. I'm still in love with Melody. He says that. It is in an upcoming it's going to be in the next episode. We are episode 8. So episode 9, this man is going to be confessing, professing that he is still in love with that woman, even though he goes marching up and down the hallway like he's not, okay? Even though he uses the word love. Historian said Martell doesn't know how to love. Well, here's the gotcha. We all know his baby mama is sitting beside him, okay? Yeah, he mine. I'ma stand beside him. She's sitting beside him right now while he is clowning the F out of her, because she's out here looking like a nut while he is on television saying that he is still in love with his wife, his ex-wife. Let's see. Oh, Lord, Martell, no, son, you are stuck. You are stuck. She's saying basically that he needs to keep moving, that he's just in a bad place, and he thinks that if he gets back together with her, that he will, it'll all be better. But he doesn't understand it, huh? That's what happens when you get married early, young in life, and you really haven't gone through, those emotions before. You can't get over it. You don't know what it is. But at the same time, all of his blessings, what I'm saying, all of that favor was with his marriage. Let's see. Chris is a missing chess piece. I knew he was a major player. Chris is a missing chess piece. I knew he was a major player. Girl, like I said, I know a lot of people are upset about this season, or at least they talk bad about it. This season is good. This season is good. I asked you guys to take a poll, It is still posted. Make sure you take it. Martell love doesn't hurt. Martell can't spell love. He's the biggest loser. He just doesn't want Melody to be happy with someone else. I think it's probably a combination of all of those things. I also think that his favor was tied to Melody. When people really liked him, like he had money in his pocket, he had things that he accomplished. Remember when they were in Destin and he said, when I was with you, everything was planned out. Our lives were planned out. Our kids' lives were planned out. There wasn't anything that you didn't have, worked all the way through. He don't have that anymore. I told y'all, he don't have that anymore. Martell wants his cake and then some. Sometimes you win, you actually lose. And sometimes you lose, you actually win. You got to know your worth. Ciao. I hope all of y'all hit my like button, though. Everybody hit the like button, please, and thank you. Everyone should be able to see that he is still in love with Melody for whatever his reasons. I do believe that he realizes that he messed up and he will regret it for a long time. You think he realizes he messed up? Okay. Well, we can talk about it a little bit. I'm going to give y'all some scenes. I'll let y'all talk to me in the comment section. I also pinned the link to the top of the page. If you would like to come up on the panel, you can definitely join. It is up to you. Mel said this will... Mel said that this was going to be season 1 Melody. She is making these ninjas work for that check. Well, I would say that season 1 Melody is a little more than making them work for the check, child. It's a little more than making them work for the check. I mean, I have to tell y'all, I feel like everybody's been clocking in, even on the scenes that aren't that doesn't have Melody in them. But the scene that she had with Kimmy was a tough scene. I actually related it to the scene that she had with Tisha, where Tisha kind of said the same thing. If you know something, tell me. But it was actually worse than that. It was actually a lot worse than that to me. Let's see. He that findeth a wife findeth a good thing and obtain favor of the Lord, Proverbs 18:22. So I agree. His favor, Dyana, his favor left when he forfeited his marriage. He definitely lost his favor. He lost a lot of favor. C. Miller said, I am a new subscriber. I'm tuning into everyone's live talking about that interview. Okay, well, we are not talking about the interview. We're talking about the show. We'll talk about the interview on at another time, but I'm going to keep my regular schedule because they actually dropped that interview much later than I was expecting. So at the end of the day, we'll just keep the same program. But so check it out. We start with this graduation. This is, let me also say again, this is not my official review. My official review will drop tomorrow around 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But I do like to just get these initial thoughts out and let you guys share your thoughts on the show. I did put up a poll. The question on the poll was, after promising to be better, because apparently when they were in St. Thomas, the girls' trip, Melody, Kimmy, and Tisha all agreed to be better to each other, basically not letting things fester, to give each other basic respect. Even though they're being cordial, they're giving each other basic respect. If something goes on that they hear about, they don't like, instead of, festering in the bad energy, just talk about it so they can get over it a little more quickly, right? So after promising to be better, I asked you guys if you agreed with Melody not answering Kimmy's question about Maurice. And 72% of you said, yes, I agree with it. F Kimmy. 17% of you said, no, she should have kept her promise. And 11% of you said, I'm not sure how I feel. Okay. Interesting. So, listen, if you want to have if you want it to be different, you're going to have to follow through, is how I feel. If Melody sat with those ladies and they all made a promise to each other to be different. I think that Melody breaking the promise means that it doesn't matter anymore. And I think that's what was kind of flooring Kimmy, but we will get there. I think that's what it means. That it means that it doesn't matter anymore. So Melody, and the one thing that she said too was, I'm surprised that this is coming from you, because Melody's pretty big on, people doing what they say they should do, right? This is how this whole entire conversation even started. I am coming to Maurice to say, you're the one who's always, you always seem like you're the more mature one. You're always the one that's doing this. So she's like, if this is who you say you are, then why aren't you this person with me? Let's see. Nope. Kimmy was in the fire and couldn't handle it. Kimmy was in the fire and couldn't handle it. Okay, keep talking to me, because I want to know what your thoughts are. Okay, Kimmy stayed in Melody's business, but she doesn't want anyone in her business. What a hypocrite. Okay, I really think it's time for Mel to change her direction on the show if she decides to remain. Okay, tell me what you mean by that, Chronic. Change her direction. How? None of them are Melody's friends. Okay. Ain't none of them folks loyal to each other. Okay, so basically you're saying that you want Melody to be them, right? Because if you tell someone this is how we're going to move forward and you're the one to break the pact, how are you different? And I need y'all to put the answers in the chat, okay? Let's see. Melody doesn't owe that heifer any loyalty. Hypocrisy is a real thing. She kept her promise. She didn't give a response that Kimmy wanted. That's not, I don't know. Okay. I have to accept you there. Too many times they have sat and talked about Mel. Now the tables have turned. So you guys are working backwards, though. You're not moving forward. Remember how Melody used to scream on Tisha? I can't do this with you. You said that we were working, that you accepted the apology. We need to move forward. Because now it seems like this cast is saying to Melody, you told us one thing and now you're doing something different. They've never been true friends to Mel. So if she want to change direction on the pact that they made, or she made, they did the same in the first through fourth season. Okay. None of them like her. She needs new friends or just focus on family and business. I thought Mel was very dismissive, and I was disappointed. All right, let's get to it. I know I said I was going to save it for later, but I just want to know, child, because listen, I'm okay with first season Mel. Let me start there. I'm okay with first season Mel. I would rather her stand up and stand in it than to allow herself to be a victim. I don't like victim Mel. I need a Mel that is able to say, this is how I feel, whether she says, F you, I'm not going to talk to you, whatever those things are. But I prefer this Melody, who we used to have. I know that there was a point where she had to slow down, and she slowed down because she had to deal with her ex-husband. But come back. Let's get back to the person that we used to have. But anyway, we are at the graduation, you guys. I'm asking y'all for y'all opinions on these topics. We're at the graduation, and it's picking up exactly where it left off, okay? A lot of people last week were pissed. They were pissed at Ken. They were pissed at Trisha, thinking that, they were dogging the hell out of Marquez. Marquez is a father. Show that man some respect, all the things. But when I tell you, when they picked up in the scene, you see the entire cast, everybody sitting at that table, burst into laughter. Okay. Melody covered her face from secondhand embarrassment when Marquez steps up and goes, I'm the father. I'm the father. Destiny screams out, hi, father. Goddamn. You know what I'm saying? Like, they are so tired of this man screaming that he's the father. They don't even know what to do. Okay. Woot, 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 woot. Basically, you can see that there's something off. There's something off. Y'all keep talking in the chat, child. Don't get upset now. you could tell that there's something off, and basically everybody is saying it at this point, okay, including his damn son. But this is what happens. Ken gets in his confessional. He said he's tired of this man coming to his house where he pays bills, and he is sitting up here, acting like he owns the place. Let's see, isn't Marquez a deadbeat? As far as I knew, but child, all I'm saying is y'all saw how that script flipped. A lot of people saw one thing, but it turned out to have been another. And people were screaming at the top of their lungs last week. Diana, being with the group of people will only bring Mel to their level. There is no way out. She's being outnumbered by fools. Okay. At one point, these people were all friends, despite what you guys think, they were all friends at one point. I think that we are getting some different sides of the story right now. But anyway, after he said that, Kim also pulls Marquez aside. He pulls Marquez aside and he tries to talk to him a little bit and say, listen, I'm really just trying to take care of my kid, which would be his bonus baby. I'm trying to take care of your kids, the house. There's bills that got to be paid. And I have attempted on many occasions to, bring you into this. I want to be your friend. I don't have anything against you. You have something against me. But Marquez is like, I really don't give a shit. You should have talked to me first. So I was kind of freaked out by that little moment. But yeah, that's what happened. What else went down? I also thought it was interesting what his son had. Are y'all trying to get Melody? Y'all want Melody to squeeze herself out like Martell? That is hilarious. Hold on. Let's see. Trisha is nuts and promotes the disrespect of her children's dad. Really? I think I was watching something different, because when his son pulled him by the shoulder and asked to speak with him and he said, stop talking about my mama and stop, you're doing too much. You got too much emotion going on. I think that kind of put into place who actually is doing what to whom. But I could be wrong, child. Let me see. I think Marquez's assignment was to shake the table. He just had a heavy-handed way of going about it. They know that Marquez has a mental disorder, and they're going to keep pushing him until he snaps. Y'all really like that man. That is so amazing. How do you like him but not like Martell? They're the same people. Okay, hold on. As for promising to do better, when have any of the ladies done better by Mel? I don't see it. Okay, so you want them all to live back in the past. Good. Listen, if y'all want them to be in season 1 again, for real, then I think that's cool. I just thought everybody had been asking that they move forward. But, shit happens, child. Let's see. Hi, Diana chat. I think that Ken and Trisha are mad that Marquez isn't following the script. Okay. So when Marquez made that whole script thing, I think that was the first half of the season. The second half of the season, they really should be just talking about what they're talking about. I don't think they're a part of any script at the moment. But Marquez also told on himself when he spoke to Marceau. I don't think that was a script. I think that was real. This is getting crazy and ridiculous. It wasn't another. Trish and Ken were being petty. I hope that the son lets you know what he felt. I have 5 sons. I know them boys very well. It wasn't another. Trish and Ken were being petty. I hope the son lets you know what he felt. Don't you think when the son told Marquez to cut it out, that he was telling him what he felt? Don't you think when the son called his dad and said, hey, you're out here saying X, Y, and Z over my sister, fix it? I think that the son is probably the most vocal. And then later in the scene when Trish says that the kids didn't want to go with her to meet their father for ice cream because they were kind of exhausted by him, I think that also says something. Marquez seems a little off. He gives me DV vibes, like maybe that's what's going on between him and Trisha. They keep trying to keep that a secret. I don't know. I hope that's not true. The son was more mature than the father. Yeah, I thought so too. I thought so too. I thought that the son was I thought that it was very telling for the 18-year-old son to come in and grab his father, and for the father even to say, "I'm doing too much, huh? Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm a little emotional." And then having to hug him, you know what I'm saying? Like, "You good, just, be okay." That role, the fact that that role flipped and the son is actually more mature than the father says a lot. Um, okay, bingo. I feel the same way. If you guys were paying attention, the one thing that he said that I was like, I can see the abuse there when Stormy Sick called this dude Mister. I was like, well, what is he doing? Why would he call him Mister? But when he said, Trisha, I was there. I saw your parents when they were dead or something in the ground. And he smirks. He knows exactly what to say. He plays a mind game with her. And she doesn't know how to pull back right now. She's like fighting him back because I don't know, maybe, it's just a trigger for her. But the only time Marquez seems calm to me is when he is trying to get at Trisha. When he is like, oh, okay. When he can see that he's getting on her, causing her to react to him, he loves it. He's smiling. He actually becomes more calm, telling her stuff like, you need therapy and you don't, sir. Why does Trisha seem reluctant to marry Ken even though she signed the divorce papers? I think she has already come out and said that she's lost everybody that, held her memories. So for as long as she's been born, I don't know, some people may not remember this feeling, but when you lose your parents, you lose the one person in your life who knows everything that you knew. You know what I'm saying? Like everything you knew about the world was because your parents were in it. And now you have to navigate without it. And I think that she has a lot of loss that is happening to her. And so she has to figure that shit out. And that's okay. That's, some of us do it differently. She had all of her loss at once. But I think that that's probably what's going on. Trish is so shady acting, but now that her ex is in the scenario, I see why she acts the way she does. Okay. The son is tired of his mother and Ken beating up on his dad. Okay. I feel like Marquez may like the same thing I like and still battling with overcoming it, in my opinion. He gives off DL vibes. Okay. I was like the same thing you like. Oh, I understand. You might be competing for the same thing. Let's see. Well, based on what Trisha said to Mel, she must still be in love with her ex-husband or ex-husband to be. Oh, okay. Marquez can't get right. He's full of excuses. All right. Well, that was the Marquez scene at the end of the day. But I am really surprised. I think that Marquez is full of shit. I think that he is, just based on the scenes that I saw, how he talks in particular to Trisha, but to women. I think that he believes that he has some sort of, I don't know, how some men are that believe that they're attractive. They can say certain things and sway you into being in a certain way. That was what he was giving to me. But I get it. I get it. We'll just have to keep watching. Okay, so the first half of the scene was really about Marquez and Trisha. Now we have Trisha. She's sitting down with the cast. And Melody kind of makes fun of her a little bit and says that she's still in love with her because um, of the way Trisha and Marquez fights. But Melody and Martell fought like that damn near every time they showed up on screen until she decided not to film with them anymore. But I also think that Melody just likes to make fun of her for a little bit. She's poking at her, and I think she likes that Trisha's in the hot seat and she's not anymore. Let's see. Well, you said Ken seems like he is trying to force Trisha to marry him. We will see, girl. I know Trisha said to Destiny that she's not ready to move forward yet. And I don't think that Ken has asked, but we will see. Monique said, Clone said, Martell is clearly still in love with her. And they would probably still be fighting then. Ken was super disrespectful at that party and clearly doesn't have bio children. Trish doesn't want to marry Ken. She knows he's moving too fast. All right. All right, child. Let's see. So now we have Trisha, Kim, and Tisha. They all meet for lunch or whatever the hell they're meeting for. And Tisha and Marcel weren't at the party, but Tisha's asking everybody to catch her up. And here is where everybody starts talking to Kimmy and letting her know what Melody said about Maurice. She said that they felt like they were being drilled. Like, did you see the lipstick on his lips? They also said that Melody was asking for the time he had gotten arrested. They asked what happened. Like, did you notice that the man was drunk? Why did y'all let him leave drunk? Melody, and they actually, I think it was Trisha said, I saw him and he looked fine to me. In fact, everybody looked like they were okay to drive. I didn't think that they were drunk. So after they give Kimmy this earful, Kimmy said, listen, we had all promised each other, so I'm pretty shocked that Melody's doing this, and I'm going to have a sit down with her, okay? There was also, I forgot to tell y'all this too. There was also a meeting with Melody and Maurice, right? Melody and Maurice have a whole conversation about the drinking and driving. And Maurice was also offended by Melody questioning him. And he said, listen, you're pushing me against the wall. You're trying to make it seem like you know everything. You do not. And he said, a lot of people were saying this is the same old Melody. They didn't like it. So that was interesting. Destiny chimed in and said, I'm not sure why Kimmy is letting her husband be drilled by Melody. But no one's saying anything. I think they believe it's pointless. That was an interesting conversation. But Melody's like, listen, I gave you how I felt. I didn't feel like I was drilling you. I gave you how I felt. And she said, at the end of the day, Maurice, I can ask questions if I want. I can ask questions if I want. You can't take it. You can't take it. Yep, we already established that Melody's grandmother was unalived by a drunk driver. So she did ask some questions, but when he was saying to her, I don't think you have the whole story, Melody didn't seem to let her foot off of his neck. And so people were trying to figure out what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And he got offended by it. He definitely got offended by it. And he pushed back a little bit at Melody. Melody laughed at him and was like, child, bye. Okay. She didn't say anything about the lipstick on his lips, though. Do you think it's interesting that Maurice and Kimmy both said, do you have any proof? Proof about the drinking and driving or proof about the lipstick? Maurice's arrest was public information and Mel is free to ask her questions. They're all free to ask questions. That's absolutely true. In order to get the scenes, we have to have them ask questions for sure. But yeah, so that's what I'm asking. Nobody wants to say what your feelings are, though. You're just saying that she's free to ask questions. You don't feel like show. Do you think that Melody should have answered Kimmy's question, Or do you think Melody should have do you feel like Melody was just keeping the show moving by giving, a little extra drama?
I feel a little lost because what was
Mel
the
should have
question
stood
that
on it.
he was actually asking? Like,
So
did he just
basically,
want her to repeat it?
Kimmy asked Melody, let me start from the beginning. Melody asked Kimmy to her house, and she said, I just wanted to talk to you about what was in the news, which was the drunk driving. We know he got arrested for drunk driving. Kimmy answers her and basically just says, I can't speak on much of it because it's an active court case. They can't speak on active court cases on TV. Melody in this scene says, I understand why you didn't speak on it, and I respect it. I wouldn't have spoke on it either. But Kimmy said, I don't really care that you were speaking to the others in the group about Maurice being arrested because, that's par for the course. That's, people are going to talk about it. But I do have a problem with you talking about him having lipstick on his lips, lipstick on his collar. You were implying something, and you were implying it to others in the group. And I'm not sure what that was about. Was it intentional? Were you intentionally trying to, create the story that Maurice is cheating, is what she's saying? Because she said that Melody seems to be obsessed with other people's husbands cheating. So she said, were you doing that intentionally? And Melody does not answer her. She said, I'm not going to answer the question. She point blank says it. And then she also says, the others came to you and they told you what I said. So I don't think I have to go any further. I'm not going to go into any further depth on it. And Kimmy felt slighted. So my question to you guys was, do you think that she should have said, listen, in her confessional, though, she actually says, Kimmy knows her husband. So she didn't say in her confessional, she knows her husband. So that means she's basically saying Kimmy probably knows that he is cheating. And if that's the case, do you think that Melody owed Kimmy I do think he's cheating, or I have heard rumors that he's cheating? Or do you think that she should have just said it the way she said it? I'm not answering.
Well, I feel like she should have stood on it. I strongly feel like she should have stood on it in her face. I feel like she should have stood on it in her face.
You think she should have said, I do think he's cheating?
Yes. She said,
okay.
To me, if I was in that position and my friend turned around, my friend came to me and say, well, she heard that I might have implied more. I would explain to her, okay, this is where I get this thought from. This is how I feel like if us as women had this kind of dialect, a lot of things would get along better when it comes to us women. If she would have sat in front of her and asked her that question, like, were you implying this? She should have said, yes, I seen the blogs just like everybody else. And I thought that's what it was. When I tried to ask you the question at my house and you seemed like you wanted to dodge it, that's why I didn't talk about it with you. I would have stood on it. I just would have said it because it seemed like Kimmy was about to slide out of her seat waiting on her to say it. But she should have just said what she felt. Like, look, I seen it in the blogs because I seen it in the blogs. And, that's why I watch all kind of different stuff. So you get a different, you get a little perspective and you come to your own conclusion in the middle. It's kind of like a game of Clue to me. Like,
Now,
people be doing too much.
in my opinion, Diana, mine will be a little different. I feel like, first of all, I don't know, but Melody and Kimmy are not friends. Melody may have awakened and realized this woman doesn't like me. She's never liked me. And I'm just, I'm going to mess with her. I don't care if it hurt her feelings or what.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like if you're not friends, I think that you just should leave that part alone, as far as telling her that, implying that he may be cheating, because that's no different than what happened with the baby. It happened out there on social media and it just blew up. So people are saying that they noticed something on his lips and his shirt. I don't think, if y'all don't like each other, I don't think that you should play around with the marriage. And if you're doing it just to hurt her feelings, then I think that you have to think about that. Do I really want to do this? Do I really care if he has lipstick on his shirt and on his lip? Do I care enough to hurt her or hurt her feelings about her husband? So I was kind of thinking about that. I was like, I wish she hadn't done that, because, why do you care?
I don't think she does, though.
You don't
And I love Melody.
I don't think she does. I think she brought it because it was in the blogs and it was something to bring to TV. So I think I might be giving her more than needed. But when I think of like how it was brought, when she said that, she asked her when they were at her house, well, what time of day was it? And Kimmy was already being a bit elusive there. I felt like she probably would have went and asked that question had that block not came up. So I feel like her going around and asking other people had no bearing on whether she felt the way about trying to expose their marriage, more so than it's in the blogs, we're going to talk about it. Because if she doesn't, we would have never heard anything about that at all, because no one else even talked about the DUI. So if y'all want to talk about that, that's cool, but let's talk about, okay, so what were you doing? Because even the last episode, Tisha said that Kimmy was out shopping. Kimmy said she didn't even know where he was. So it's just like, I think it's just
what Kimmy had actually said on, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, that was all. It's just I just don't think that she really cares. I think it's fun for Melody at this point because she's so far removed.
I also think there's a little bit of get back to it. I'm going to keep it real.
And she deserves it.
I think Mel, this is where, when I say petty Mel, I mean fun shade Mel. I like shady Mel when she's just, when it's light. But when the insinuation about the lipstick, I felt that was going to go left. That was not going to make her look good. But I also feel that there is a little bit of, okay, I'm going to dish back to you what I had to take all this time from all of y'all when it was me in the hot seat. And I think that is some of that plays into it. Plus the fact that, again, behind the scenes, these people knew or even helped and was out with her husband while cheating. Mel has probably worked through a lot, but I don't think she has forgotten that when she deals with them sometimes and brings stuff to the forefront. I think she kind of reminds them like a little tap on the hand, like, hey, remember.
Yeah, and of course I see all of that, but I still say, the marriage, that's a real thing. And you don't want to go around to different people saying, hey, did you see that lipstick on his lips? Did you see, unless she is purposely trying to cause friction in their marriage, or maybe she did it to manufacture drama, whatever, we don't know. But if she's really trying to say or do something to cause a problem in their marriage, then I don't think that's right. And in my opinion, and like I said, Melody may have awakened and said, hey, I done looked at some of these past episodes. I did not know Kimmy felt the way that she felt. I done done this and I done that for this woman and her
y'all
business.
know this is taped. It's been taped a couple of months ago, but you remember she was saying that her and Kimmy, remember how the season start off? Why didn't y'all call me? Remember her saying that? Why didn't y'all call me and ask me what was going on between me and Martell? Martell got arrested.
Yes.
So she started off the season, Melody started off the season in a way that was shocking for me. Because I was like, when did they become friends, right? I didn't.
I don't think that, to me, when Melody did that, I felt like she was putting them on blast, like, oh, we want to act like everything's okay, but y'all know about this, and nobody reached out to me, nobody said anything, and now that also, I'm wondering how this dynamic, if this show is renewed, now that they've admitted that they've seen or know about the RP, how that's going to play out, because Melody's energy, I'm wondering how she's going to come across to them after them admitting that. But I just felt like she was just putting it on notice, like, yeah, y'all, we said this, but y'all don't care. Y'all don't ask about what's going on with me. Y'all know this is going on, and y'all still say Martell is a good guy and all this other stuff. I just felt like she was just putting them on notice and also being real straightforward about, so when the season started, this is why I have an issue with you guys.
Yeah, the next season, January, is going to be a mother effer. Okay,
Yeah.
I agree with that. But yeah, at the beginning of the
Diana,
yes, ma'am.
did you happen to see the Arion and
Oh my gosh.
Martell interview?
Okay, nope, I haven't yet.
Baby,
Okay,
Mel did nothing. Mel did nothing. They mad for all the wrong reasons because Martell hoped they got gutter ball on that interview. Diana, you must watch.
okay.
It's gonna be so deliciously nasty. I'm not even gonna say what was
Oh,
said, but I'm telling you, you got to go, Martell. I don't think it's gonna be another season. I
okay.
don't. Martell Lord the boom on everybody marriage.
Okay.
He blew the whole scene up. Bloom, 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 bloom,
So,
bloom. Tisha
so
said nothing.
he gave two on both Marcel and
Maurice got strays, baby.
oh wow.
Kimmy will not be unblemished if they have another season. After this interview, I think they need to retreat.
They ain't
Okay.
going nowhere.
Ooh,
Yeah, I was
Maurice
gonna
caught
say
some
it's real bad.
strays.
Okay.
Ooh.
I want to say this, that I don't think Mel is obsessed with outing their cheating. I think she's bringing out that everybody has their hypocrisy. It's not just her. It's not just Martell. Everybody is being a hypocrite on this show. And I do believe that everybody has their issues. Everybody is petty. Nobody is innocent. Everybody is slinging dirt at each other, and like Diana usually says, nobody is really coming out and saying a lot of other things. It's some underlying stuff that's going on that they are not saying, and that's probably a road too far. Well, not Martell, but a road too far for the rest of them. But there are things that's being hashed out here, like the fact that Melody feels like y'all have been in my face, in my home, this and that, and y'all did all of these things, covered Martell, and then you expect me to sit here and play nice with everybody.
Mhm.
No, I'm going to clock in. Y'all going to clock in too. We going to talk about these things. Now, there are times where I don't agree with how far she goes, but then again, I can understand seeing how these seasons played out. They have said stuff amongst themselves and to each other, and then Mel has had to sit there and just continue to play along. So I just think it's the hypocrisy of it all. I just think Rick, I'm not Rick, but Mel is just clocked in and was like, yeah, okay.
Okay. Get a Clue said they confirmed everything Marceau been saying. He leaves no proof behind. What do you mean by that? Do you guys know what she meant by that?
He had
I
no
do,
proof.
I do, I do,
Okay.
I do. I
Elfie,
know.
where are you from?
I'm from South Carolina, baby.
Okay. Okay, talk to me, Elfie. What does that mean?
What that statement means is that Marceau uses other people to send, I won't say side chicks. He kind of like, hit and run. You know what I'm saying? He cut a little cash, you know what I'm saying? But he leaves no paper trail, which means if it's got to be a cash app or something, one of the homeboys will do it. Or if it's got to, it could be direct transactions. Girls just coming in on the random, like, hey, I'm in town, and the dude is just like, okay, I'm gonna meet you at Credit One, and it's some tag team action going on with the brothers and these hoes. I mean, Diana, you have to watch this. I'm
So,
telling you,
wait
I
a minute.
slid out of the chair.
Are they saying that Marceau has prime DIC?
I don't know about that, but I know
No,
that
they ain't saying they got prime dick. They saying him and Maurice is some real nasty dudes together.
well, and
Like they
also,
is like Kimmy, your Martell, Arion and Martell drop such. I mean, they gonna be up tonight. They up tonight in Alabama.
Are you
so
Kimmy is
I
up. Tisha is up. The brothers are tag teaming. If
Allegedly.
you if you're a little older, they on some train type stuff
Okay.
with women.
And I also want to say, it proved Marceau's, when Marceau used to say, do things with people you don't have, that has something to lose, or he was saying, cheat with someone who's going to be discreet or whatever else. Basically, Marceau follows his own code, and he was.
QT, can you hear me?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I didn't know if you heard me or not. My phone was glitching.
Someone's, I don't know who it is. Hold on. I'm getting feedback from someone's microphone. I think it's you, QT. I'm not getting.
Can you hear me now?
I hear you now, but whatever you have turned on, you have to turn it off because it's. Okay.
My TV is turned. Yeah.
Okay. You sound great now. So go ahead, finish what you're saying.
I was saying that he was trying to also tell Martell that, but Martell was not listening. But I just feel like Marceau definitely knows how to cover his tracks. I definitely. But also, what got me about that, the snippets I saw about that interview, AC is delusional. That girl is so delusional and lost.
Very.
Cause
Well, honey,
she's still trying to prove that she is so much more
I
important.
concur.
Well, I
okay.
and honestly, the young lady, somebody to talk that
Okay, Alfina, now you have feedback. Do you have something else turned on? You have to turn it off. You have to turn off whatever else you have running that has my voice or the panel voice in the background.
I did, and I mic'd up. I'm sorry about that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just trying to wrap up my thought.
Oh,
That girl, they were supposed to be interviewing this woman, and she kept grilling him and bringing up, what did you do? What did you do? Whatever. And I'm like, girl, this is not about you and Martell. She is, it just, she looks sad and desperate.
You're saying that during the interview, Arion was asking Martell what was
Martell,
he
and
doing?
asking the girl stuff about Martell. What was he doing? Where was he at the time? Did
Oh
he
my
have girls with
word.
her? I was like, oh my gosh, for real?
Okay, hold on. Someone had something to say. Black Beauty said that the interview really made AC and Martell look bad, not the Scotts.
It
And
did.
look like they may have paid that lady. Y'all agree?
well,
It didn't. Yeah, it was questionable.
well, with me, I saw the young lady,
I agree.
and if I was the wife of either one of the Scott brothers, I wouldn't be threatened. I mean, she gave no, she just did not. She wasn't sophisticated. Uh, she was very immature, low class, and in my opinion, and she's not a threat. So I can see Kimmy and Tisha just laughing about it. I would. I mean, she just, they would, should have dressed her up, got her hair done or something.
Okay. So
She
you're
did not
saying they're
as
not
a
going to
threat.
have an all-nighter. They're not going to have an all-nighter like Cynthia Bailey and Peter. When it started off in the daytime, Peter was on that damn porch until midnight, child. There's not going to be one of those.
And I'm not, not trying to, I don't know the young lady, but if I was the wife of either one of those, I wouldn't be worried.
Okay.
It was like they did it, and I'll get with them later, but I'm not going to be upset about it. She pretty much put herself out there and admitted that he used her. She was admitting that it was hard for her to get money out of him. So
Somebody
he was nothing.
who said that? Wait a minute. You're saying that the lady admitted that Marceau used her and that it was hard for her to get money. She was doing
Yeah,
it for free.
she
Yeah,
had to pay for
she
her.
was a rock hoe.
She had to pay herself, and she said, and I don't know.
She
When
flew
she said
herself out.
she said something like this, Diana. I don't know why he didn't want pay me my money back. I was like, "Hey, no, you's a bitch. That's what they do for people like you."
Diana, he flew her out. He made her pay for all her own stuff while she was out there, though.
Yes.
And again, you know, AC made a lot of things about her and her bitterness towards Mel, Tisha. Only one she kind of was like, oh yeah, Kimmy caught a stray, but and Maurice caught a stray, but yeah, it was a mess. Even if that lady had some credible, was saying some credible things, it was just presented in a way that is questionable.
It gave ghetto.
I didn't want to use that word, but she was
It
just
gave.
lowbrow. She was
She
lowbrow.
couldn't even focus on the interview because she kept forgetting that Martell was actually there and was possibly doing other things. And it's crazy because that wasn't even your man. Like
Yeah,
that
she
man,
was trying not to blow up Martell's spot. I felt like too, and AC kept snagging on that, and I was like, "Girl, this not even what this is about."
but it showed me, and I didn't finish it, but it showed me that them they be tussling. Cause
Yes,
that thing there right there is toxic. Cause I know after they filmed that, oh, when they got home, questions, hands, and then they right back in love the next day.
the dynamic, it sure did spotlight their dynamic and that it is toxic. Because at one point he said to her, and I believe it was with all seriousness, because I forgot what she said to him, and he said, "Don't play with me like that."
Well, did you notice that she kept touching his arms
Mhm,
when
baby,
over
baby. Mm-hmm.
did not respond? He did not respond with, how a couple is. You touch me, I touch you, you touch me. But there's no chemistry between him and Arion.
No,
No,
because it's all about placating him and his ego. That's what she's there
that
for.
I don't think he likes her. I think he's
Someone
with,
said that.
but I don't think he
Someone,
likes her.
you don't think he likes her? Well,
Mm-mm,
honey, did
he
you
doesn't.
watch? You watched the episode, right? You hear
Yeah.
him say that he's still in love with Melody.
Yes, yes, yes. That he in love with somebody, but it's not Arion.
Okay, now
You
listen.
can tell.
How do you pronounce? How did they pronounce
Wait a
Marceau's name?
minute. Wait a minute. I'm sorry to stop you. He said that during this episode?
In
It's
the
going to be.
preview for the next
It's in the
episode.
preview for the next one. He says,
Oh.
"I am still in love with Melody."
Oh, what? Oh, I'm going on mute.
To this day, in his delusional mind, if Melody at some point, because I think he still thinks that at some point she may just like snap out of it and change her mind.
I think
He
so
will
too. And I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt and being like when he said, I'm over it. But I think so too. I think he thinks that if he gives her enough time, she will take him back because she always did in the past.
the delusion. It is insane. And then for him to sit up on a podcast with his mistress to interview another mistress is even more insane.
But you notice that that's where his anger, when he's rejected, that's when he gets really angry and when he
Okay,
really
so
becomes more
y'all,
destructive.
they're saying that this affair happened when Marceau was working at the movie theater, so it was several years ago, right?
Mm.
Okay, now let me ask you a question. Everybody on the panel, if you okay, you're married, you something comes out like this about your husband, and it happened. I don't know how long ago Marceau worked at the movie theater. What, 7, 10 years ago, maybe? Is this a deal breaker for you?
No.
Okay,
No, not if we're doing well. If we're doing well,
That's it.
no.
no. Okay,
That's
how
it.
about
I agree. If we are in a good place, I think I might be more um
understanding?
more able to move forward. I might be upset that I got caught off guard by somebody else telling me, but I
Okay,
think I might be more open to listen to what's going on if we're in
okay.
a better place.
So I'm asking in the chat too, put a 1 in the chat if this would be a deal breaker, put a 3 in the chat if you would be more open to moving forward in your marriage, and F that lady, whoever she is, showing up on YouTube embarrassing her damn self, talking about she had to pay for everything.
I agree. If it's not current, if he's not doing anything currently, I think I could forgive if he was not doing anything currently.
Okay, 1 in the chat.
It's just the embarrassment for me.
A lot of
Yes.
people saying
Total
that's a
debauchery. himself. Oh my
My
God.
husband told
Barbarism. That
And I
was
also, as a side note, I also agree that Martell is not fully in love with Mel. He's still in love with the idea of who they were together, their lifestyle, everything, and everything she brought to his life. Cause sorry, Martell has not been right since they haven't been together.
No, I think he's told himself that she lacked in so many things to justify his behavior. But in actuality, I don't think that they had any issues within their marriage. Not anything that could not have been worked through. He just literally just wanted the best of both worlds. And like,
Correct.
you
he,
think that even now? You guys think that even now, with everything that you've seen about Martell, you don't think that? Let me put it this way, because this is a good question. I've always thought, you know what, things happen for a reason, and maybe now she knows, like, this probably wasn't my person. But you think that Martell and Melody, you feel like they should still be together now?
No, that's not what I'm saying at all.
oh,
No,
I
I was saying from his point of view, he misses everything that Melody brought to his life. And that is probably what he is still in love with or has as this pedestalized view in his head. Do I think that they should be together? Absolutely not. Too much has
I,
happened.
I agree. I
Well,
agree.
I, I've always had this opinion about Martell. I think that was their foundation. He saw what he could get out of it. And it just escalated because remember, Melody was told right before her wedding that he cheated.
Mhm.
So I think this has always been him. He's always been a
Yeah,
cheating man. But they, she married him anyway, and they had children, and they flowed, until they didn't flow anymore. But I think that has always been his personality. He's always liked an extra. He
And I'm
wanted
gonna tell you something
one
else.
was never enough.
It
And
wasn't that he
Tennessee
was always a cheating man. He was always a man who was looking for a woman who
Could take care
would
of him.
do whatever he wanted.
who
Here's the
protected him.
thing, because one thing that I can't get out of my mind is that he would say, hold on, I think it's you. It's Alfina. Thank you. One of the things he would always say was, I never thought that Melody would leave. And if it wasn't for the show, she would still be here to this day. So in his head, he thought he had Melody in a space where he could, I hate to say it like that, but she's the one who called him a puppeteer, where he thought he could move her strings and tell her what to do. And if it wasn't for the show, and then if it wasn't for Tisha, even though he said that Tisha was the least of the independent women, but he's always blaming other people. So he really thought he had a hold on Mills.
Well, it's because what I said in the beginning. I think they made promises to each other because of their past, and I feel like Melody was more loyal, and he knew that. Melody always stood toes down for him. She covered him. She protected him, even when he wasn't doing the same things back. That's just who Melody seemed to be as a person. She believed in Team Holt, whereas Martell always broke team. Melody did not. And when she finally did break team, it was because she was tired of him always leaving her in the lurch. And that's what he does not fully get. And he thinks is all these other things. And it's like, no, Martell, it is you. Eventually, she got tired of you. Probably the show and seeing things probably
Yo.
help amplify things. I'm not going to lie about that. But I think Melody, because they said they were already estranged, Melody was already getting to her breaking point anyway. It just became that you are now on this platform and you're still being out here disrespectful to this degree, and then your mistress is being so disrespectful. You don't even have respect for your family, not just me, but your family. And also Tennessee, my sister's Tennessee girl said at one point they were really each other's best friend, and I'm not going to discount that because even Mel said that that's what she misses of Martell when she was trying to be reconcile and co-parent with him peacefully, and they went on that trip. I think in some ways they did miss aspects of each other, especially the friendship and the camaraderie, and but Martell does not know how to return that to Melody because he is so stuck on his own ego or being a narcissist, whatever it is.
Okay.
He thinks about himself and not about her.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. We got a new person on the panel. I want to get his opinion. Jimmy 52, welcome.
Man, what's going on? Appreciate you having me up here. So I'm saying.
No worries. I love that we have a male perspective. You like Love and Marriage Huntsville? You watch the show?
Oh yes, ma'am. I be watching the show, man. Them motherfuckers fucked up.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
Give me your. Is that all your opinion? What else? You don't have anything to say about the show or what happened today?
Oh no, I appreciate what y'all got going on over here.
Okay.
So I'm saying, appreciate what y'all got going on.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. I just want to get your opinion. All right. You want to stay on the panel or no?
Hell yeah, I'll stay up. So I'm saying,
Diana, can I go back to something you said because I didn't want to forget it? It was when you mentioned Nell Fletcher.
Yes.
I want to say, as someone, I'm a widow. It's going to be 3 years in 2025, and I lost my husband and my grandmother at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So I can relate to Nell, even though it's been 5 years for her.
Mm-hmm.
It will still be intense. I mean, it will still be something. Grief is a lifelong journey, and it's still going to be with her. And it doesn't lessen. It may get better or bearable over time, but it doesn't go away, and it sneaks up on you at when you least expect it. And I think that the fact that she is still grieving so strongly is valid, and also the fact that it shows that what her kid says, there are things that she holds in and she does not deal with well, and I don't think that maybe she has fully dealt with everything that has gone on with her because she's so busy putting out fires for the rest of the family.
Mm-hmm.
Nell needs therapy for herself to work through a lot of things.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, I got a person that is like spamming my comments. I'm not sure why. Sorry about that, you guys. Don't respond to it, okay? I'm not sure what's going on here.
shit, all good.
Okay. All right, child. I don't know how to get this person out of here. Let's see. Okay, go ahead. Keep talking.
No, that's all I was saying. I was just saying Nell needs to do some therapy and work on herself instead of just always working with other people. But I understood and I had empathy for her with her grief journey. That's a lot. That's a lot to go through.
Okay.
Do you feel like her grief correlates anyway with the interactions or relationships that she has with her kids and why she does so much? Because when she wanted to go to therapy or wanted them to go to therapy to set a boundary for them not asking for money, she's the one giving it to them. So to me, in my mind, I felt like she needed help with setting the boundary. So do you, though, with what we saw in this last episode, which I love because it just made me look at her a little bit differently, because to me, I think she still kind of has her guard up with like the whole show. And I felt like for that moment, she was very vulnerable. So I guess, do you think that that correlates in why she does so much for her kids, even though she really doesn't want to?
I think so. I think she...
Can you hold on 1 second? Hey, Nikisha, I see you in the back. Can you show your face real quick? Hello? Okay, I'm going to add you to the screen now. So if you want to put your screen back up, you can. Okay, sorry about that. I'll let whoever was talking finish, and then we'll go to Nikisha.
Oh, I was saying, I think so. I think also she's projecting some of her own things. Like, I guess whatever she didn't have, she's trying to give to her kids and she's overcompensating for things. But I also think that, maybe because of the loss of her mother, she's still trying to be present in their lives. But she does need to draw those boundaries. She needs to deal with her own issues. It starts with her. It does.
Okay. Okay, Nikisha, you want to share your opinions?
Sure. First, I want to just be respectful because I was having the hardest time coming up. I was really wanting to comment on the last scene of the episode, but if you're past that, I don't want to be disrespectful.
Oh no, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I was just thinking like a different perspective of why Mel behaved the way she did with Kimmy. I don't know if anybody caught the part where she was like, well, I tried to have a conversation with you and you really didn't want to have the conversation. And Kimmy was questioning her about asking other people about the timeline. She asked Kimmy about the timeline too. And Kimmy didn't want to get into it. And I think Mel felt more like you're coming to me for validation or some proof that your husband is cheating versus just my opinion on what was happening on social media. And I think she was like, I'm not getting into that with you. I'm not going to like validate. Like, why are you even asking me to validate? Why are you not asking other people to validate whether or not your husband is cheating? Because I think Kimmy thinks Mel has more information outside of what's just happening on social media. It's not to say that the scene wasn't kind of jacked up and she wasn't playing in Kimmy's face, because I do think she was playing in Kimmy's face. But I think she was like, well, you didn't want to talk to me when I was asking you about it, so why you want to talk to me about it now?
Oh,
That's
you
just my
just
opinion.
you just made me think about something else. Maybe she was trying to invalidate what Mel was doing because the whole cheating thing makes Mel look bad because Mel never has receipts and she knows Mel was not going to respond with any receipts. So that would invalidate anything else Mel was asking.
I mean, that could be the case, but I don't even think she
Hmm.
was accusing him of cheating. I think she was speculating like the rest of the people on the internet,
Yeah.
That's
was speculating, about, like this whole timeline. Because Kimmy said tonight that she was with him, but I believe in an interview or some other conversation, she said she had to get up and go look for him at the office. So I think Mel was like, all these bits and breadcrumbs. She was following the breadcrumbs like she feels like people were following the breadcrumbs, when she was going through all her situation.
But based on Kimmy saying that it's Mel's plight in life to see if everyone else is cheating, I think that Kimmy has never looked at Mel from a different lens from back then. So I guess with her bringing that conversation to her, it feeds to your point of saying like she thinks that maybe Mel does have more information. When I just thought that it was coming from a perspective of it's in the blogs, let's talk about it.
I don't think now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think she thought Mel had any information. I think that was her point to be like, you don't know anything and you're stirring the pot instead of Mel just taking it at Mel's face value of I'm asking the questions. I'm being the audience member and I'm asking the questions of you because the things that you all are saying doesn't add up and what I've read doesn't add up.
Well, here's the saddest part. Um, Even though this sounds like it's happened a little while ago, it's even ironic that this episode aired tonight because it sounds like all the questions that they were asking for, Martell ended up giving to them. You know what I'm saying? And I know Kimmy was with Maurice for 7 years before he even put a ring on her finger. And then, she had already said if it did happen before marriage that she wasn't gonna, make a big deal out of it. But it's always Martell who ends up bringing all this shit out. Always. Let's see. Did Kimmy bring up Maurice working at the office on the show or on the Messy Monday?
Messy Monday.
I thought Kimmy said that she thought he was at the office on the show.
I did too. I thought she said something
Oh,
like
she
getting
did
up
say
looking
that.
for him or something. She had got up looking for him.
With Carlos.
But in the last episode, Mel brought it up to Tisha. Tisha was like, "Oh, girl, she was out shopping," and I was like, "What?" Because Kimmy just told us she was looking for him at work.
Right. And those inconsistencies, but that's not what people are going to see. They're going to be like, "Oh, Mel is being messy." But Mel is bringing peace and things, making
You
they
know
have
what,
said
though?
things
When
and
Ti-
they're
when
not
Tisha
consistent.
said that he was whatever, which that she was shopping, I thought that she was lying. Because if he was
Um
drinking at night, and it sounded more truthful when Kimmy said it, I woke up, you weren't there. I was looking for you. I
Yeah.
called the office, I went to your office. That sounds more honest than I woke up, he wasn't there, I went shopping.
But that's what I'm saying. I think it just feeds into the fact where Mel also said in the last episode where they've already probably had conversations about what they were going to discuss on the show about the whole DUI and the rumors around it. And I think Tisha kind of got caught off guard with the questioning by Mel. So she just threw something out there. But it just does feeds into the fact that, like, if she hadn't asked any questions at all, that DUI would have been just one episode and we kind of would have skated past it, which for one, y'all, there's nothing else that y'all really talk about. And then the other odd thing is that we're talking all about Trish and Sunny and all of these different opinions and things that you're hearing. So why are you guys off limit? And don't get me wrong, I don't think Kimmy is wrong for, if you have questions about my husband, that's my husband. I can come to you about that. But come on, you guys, you're on a show. They're going to talk about it.
Right.
Well,
And
yeah,
also, can I bring up, they're
mhm.
also mad because Mel brought up, because it would have been left at Kimmy and Maurice in that episode at the table, and Maurice seeming contrite. Mel brought up, no, y'all were at Black the next day on live making fun of stuff with a new bottle in your hand with the same clothes you were wearing. I don't think that they would have wanted that brought up. I don't think they would have brought that up if Mel hadn't.
I
Correct.
I agree with that. I think at the end of the day, people selling their marriages out like this to me is kind of sick for all of them, for one reason or another. Like the sanctity of marriage, ain't no sanctity in it. I just think it's insane that they sell their marriages out for $1. It's crazy to me. But that's just me coming from a married woman. I would never do that.
And I agree. As I was with my husband for a long time, we believed in team two. I may not have agreed with everything that he did, but we kept that to ourselves until we were behind closed doors or together where we could have a conversation. But as far as everybody else knew, yeah, we were a unit. I don't agree, but they are on a reality TV show. This is what it's about. I don't fault Tisha or Kimmy or even Mel at the time for protecting their marriages, but also you guys put things out on the show that have us question, that wasn't even from Mel, that has us questioning your marriage, especially Tisha and Marcel. Just the little things that they have put out and then said recently, but especially from Vegas when Marceau was saying, "Oh yeah, I think it's okay to stay married for the kids." What? We didn't ask. What? That was volunteered. When he wouldn't
I
when he wouldn't renew his vows and stuff. Things like that. Him constantly embarrassing her. That's not stuff that Mel brought up, Martell brought up, and it certainly isn't from the fans like they like to play, but like, oh, y'all make things up. No, we saw that on the show. Y'all brought that to us.
Martell definitely brought it up. He definitely said Tisha, that Marcel Tisha. He definitely said that Marcel embarrasses Tisha, and he also said that he needed a wife more like Tisha.
Yes,
I remember-
he said that, but I was just pointing out they bring stuff to us. They have put, or the show has brought things to us that is like, no, that didn't come from other people. That came from y'all. We saw that.
Vanessa White said, "Oh, strong in the first place," and I agree. At the end of the day, I think that not a lot of people's marriage could have withstand what we've already seen on the show. The fact that both of them are still married is great. Both of them are still married at this
Yeah.
point. But we shall see. You know what I'm saying? We'll see if anything different happens. But both of them walked in with their marriage. They still have it. They're still
Yeah.
married. Melody walked in, trying to repair her marriage in it, or maintain, stay in it, and she was already out the door. So now it is what it is. We'll get to see. And Melody has a lot of tea to take to court if she wanted to.
I know. But I'll comment on what you were said before. I don't wish any harm to any of their marriages. If they can work it out, great. I mean, but I just don't, even though I have very little sympathy for them and some of the things that they have done. Um, I just don't like the way that they allow their husbands to embarrass them like this. and then they want to be mad at the other person, not your husband, but the other person asking questions because y'all brought this onto the show, so we're going to talk about it. No, be mad at the person you're married to that they made you look like this in public.
I hear you. I hear you, girl.
Dang, I feel like now, all this stuff that's coming out is only a regurgitation of all that pillow talk all these men been doing. Like, look, he's the bad guy. He's doing this with their wives. And all this stuff is bubbling to the surface now. Like, everybody is out and everybody. But it's a regurgitation of pillow talk. That's why Melody had those smirk all those years. You know what I'm saying? Especially like year 1 and 2 of the show. She was repeating the things that Martell telling her. Okay, yeah, I was cheating, but these guys were here cheating too. And Martell or Marceau and Maurice was saying, oh yeah, Martell doing this, that, and the third, but I ain't doing none of that. You know, they sneak, they telling on Marceau, Martell to their wives, and Martell is telling on them to his wife to try to make it look like, well, I'm not the only one doing it. So I'm repeating stuff that they done had between each other, but for the wives is getting it was very embarrassing to Melody. It's gonna be embarrassing to Tisha and Kimmy too, but they're gonna stay. Look how old it is. They brought on a whole from 10, 15 years ago.
Do you feel like the stuff that happened on the show is par for the course?
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on. Your mic is really messed up.
And I agree that there is a lot, like the men have pushed things off, and it's like, oh, it's the women, you know, because they can't ever get along and they're always fighting and yada yada. But when you look at it, yes, they have their own issues amongst each other, but also a lot of their issues come from fighting their husband's battles, because one woman's husband said this, the other husband said that, and they're just like windmilling for their husbands or their marriage or whatever it is, and they like to offset that a lot on the women. I've noticed too. But you know, by Melody being divorced, she doesn't do a lot of that anymore, but she does kind of bring things up about that's glaringly obvious about the others, and they don't like that. I don't think they appreciate that a lot.
Okay. That's understandable, child. All right. I think we've talked this out a lot. Okay, we had a good panel. I appreciate you guys for coming up and sharing all of your thoughts on this particular episode and on what the tea that was dropped over there a little earlier, because I did not get a chance to see that. I was watching the show. But I appreciate everybody who came up today. You guys had amazing opinions, amazing opinions. I know that I think her name is Nikisha. She dropped down. Thank you, Nikisha. Thank you, Review Hour. And then Jazz QT and Alfina, you were amazing. Okay.
Thank you so much for having me. You guys have a happy holiday.
You too. You too. I hope you guys come back for the official review tomorrow. I hope you all come back for the official review tomorrow. And then yeah, we'll talk more. I'm gonna watch this video and see what you guys are talking about, and we'll cover that too. Okay, a little more after I get a chance to see it. But everybody's saying great job.
You're gonna gag. I promise you, you're gonna gag.
I believe you, girl. I believe you. Okay, I appreciate you guys. I hope y'all have an amazing Saturday evening, the rest of your evening. The show I thought was really good, so I hope you guys get a chance to see it. What else is going on? Thank you to all of my moderators. I appreciate you guys. Thank you to everybody in the chat. I appreciate y'all. Come back tomorrow and we will do it over again. Make sure that you guys are following me on all of my platforms at DYANAROZAY, okay? And I will check you all in the next one. Thank you. Bye-bye.